Hi guys, this is Mike from the last Corvette. Today we're going to keep it really simple and we're going to talk about three things that are constantly coming up in forums, videos. At least I see. I just was basically a part of a discussion on one of the C6 general forums on the C6 Corvette forums. So sun visors, head units, and rear view mirrors. Really want to discuss that. All those are upgrade and then items, but they could also be items that are wear items as well. So, sun visors. 05 to 2013, we all know that you had a base, you had a convertible model. When I say base, you had a Targa, you had a convertible, then you had your Zs, ZR1s. But they all shared the same trim levels. They had 1LT, 2LT, 3LT. And then you had, obviously, your model-specific, not trim, but model-specific things that they did. Obviously, ZR1s, Z06s, Grand Sports. There's another one there. So, but the trim levels were pretty much the same. But if you got, most of the time, if you got a Grand Sport, they were pretty loaded. Same thing with the Zs, but there's still, you could still order them with different trim levels. So, moving on. I buy my Corvette. The first thing I see is the sun visors are complete junk. The previous owner basically 3M'd all the little shutter covers closed because the hinges were busted, and that's the number one thing that breaks. They're tiny little puny plastic hinges, or the spring breaks on both sides. And actually the passenger side was missing a mirror on top of it. So I jumped in and I said, hey, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to do it yourself type of a guy, right? So I quickly realized that you can buy the little covers. I bought two, and the missing mirror for me was, well, I'm going to go to my local glass and mirror shop and just had one cut. I mean, it's easy to measure thickness and glue it in. And so I spent about, I don't know, I think it was like $50 or less than that for two covers. They came in, they looked somewhat close to OEM. I was able to get the driver's side cover on, and I quickly realized why I was wasting my time when I moved on to the passenger side. The passenger side, the entire insert was loose. And I know some guys, they use some self-tapping screws to kind of get into the meat of the sun visor, the inner structure, and hold it in place, or you can use glue or some structure. To me, it wasn't an option. So, and they got like gator clips to go in and clip into the inner structure, which is basically foam and just really almost like a cardboard type inner structure. So there's really not a lot of beef there to even put your screws in or replace the clips. So I quickly gave up on that whole idea and I started looking for some sun visors. Realizing now that sun visors are a hot commodity or a hot item when it comes to C6 Corvettes. So I called here, I called there, I started looking on eBay, and I realized that some guys sell them as a driver's side, passenger side. Some sell them as a set. About 40% of them are busted or broken, and I guess people buy them for parts. Another option is people buy them, or they take their old ones off and then they just trim them in some leather that matches your interior, being black or beige or whatever. That wasn't an option for me. I think that just looked tacky. So I started looking for a good set. And normal price for a set of sun visors was right around like $280, $300 plus. I mean, it all depends. So I said to myself, hey, I'm going to wait and I'm going to find the perfect set. Just like I'm waiting for that perfect passenger side headlight. I don't care how it looks as long as the inner bezel is good. So long story short, I find one for sale from a legitimate, eBay user, meaning that great feedback, been around for a long time, for $146, and it also has the garage door capability. My Corvette is a Targa 1LT, so it never came with the home link. The only options that I have in my Corvette are both seats are powered. Believe it or not, some of them were actually manual. and I have the side airbags that are built into the seat. I don't have a heads-up display, none of that stuff. So I jumped on it. I bought it 146 plus a little bit of well, maybe 15 bucks or 20 bucks or whatever in shipping. So let's call it 170 flat. I know for a fact you can't even reupholster those things unless you do them yourself, and I don't know how to for 170. So I got a score on that, and I don't really care about the long story of why they were taking off or whatever, but I know that the pictures were just like the item that I received, in perfect condition with basically no wear, and everything worked. Really quickly, to remove the sun visors on C6s is somewhat simple. So you got your latch here. When you snap it in, you unsnap it, you take a little flathead screwdriver, and if you look, so if you're sitting on the driver's side or the passenger side, so you're going to be on the left or the right, the main hinge, there's one little spot made and you'll know what screwdriver to use. If it fits in there, you're going to push up on it, and then you're going to twist your sun visor and pull at the same time. And it's really going to release once you get close to your A-pillar and your door, and it's going to come off. And all that screwdriver is doing is you're collapsing 3 jaw clips, and once you collapse them enough and you're in a position where they line up with the main insert, it'll just come down, and then you have to disconnect a simple plug. That's basically your positive and the negative that feeds your vanity light. And you reinstall the same way. You actually put everything back in, and then you twist it, now going clockwise towards the windshield, and you'll seal it, twist in, line up, and then pop in. Do the same thing to the driver's side. There's plenty of write-ups on that, and I believe videos, but if you guys need more info, you can always hit me up on this channel or Instagram at Last Corvette. So anyway, trying to clear things up. I have a 1LT. Never came with a garage door capability sun visor. It will work. So if you have a 1LT Corvette, if you buy a HomeLink or a Car2U, and I'll explain that here, the same power cable that powers your little vanity mirror light will also send power to your HomeLink. So everything inside the sun visor itself, everything is already pre-wired. So you don't have to run any extra wires, any of that stuff. It will work. Now, the C6s were offered from 05 to 2013, mid-13. And in the beginning, they used a company called Car2U, and then they switched over to HomeLink. I will put a link to programming instructions for Car2U. That way you guys can see the difference, because programming, setting up is way different than HomeLink. So let me explain. GM tried a different, cheaper way of, just like their sun visors, of programming or utilizing a different company other than HomeLink, which was already out and about everywhere else, in their vehicles for a very short period of time. And then they switched right back to HomeLink. But you have to understand, this whole era of like 05 to 2008, 9, 10 was pretty hard. 2010, 9, 10-ish is when the economy started to swing back up and making money, and the industry was starting to do better. So the Car2U is no longer in business, but you can still get parts for them. And obviously, some of the sun visors are Car2U, not HomeLink. The easiest way to tell if it's a Car2U or a HomeLink, the 3 buttons look identical, except the HomeLink will have the little outline of a house with a little link symbol. That's HomeLink. If it doesn't, it's a Car2U on GM vehicles. And some Fords use them, but that's how you really know. And if you're not sure, you can always look up your owner's manual, or just kind of do a search if it's not programming right. So the biggest difference with HomeLink and Car2U. Car2U obviously didn't have the right either frequencies, and most of the time frequencies are licensed, so more than likely they didn't have the right contracts or licenses with various garage door companies. Unlike HomeLink. HomeLink works with everything. So for about 2 or 3 brands of of garage door openers or actual motors, you had to buy a module box that would mount in your garage, like over your garage door opener with antenna. It would receive an output signal from your sun visor, and then it would send you, basically they called it a repeater. So you would modify the signal, and then the signal would go back to your actual garage door opener and then open it. So there were hits and misses, and the system didn't really work right in some cases. Like in a 3-car garage, sometimes they would open both doors, sometimes it would close both doors, or just open one or the other. So, but it does work at the end of the day. So in my case, I have a 3-car garage. 2-car garage didn't work because it's an older style, and it's actually a LiftMaster, and it's one of the companies that Car2U didn't cover. And then the newer one does work without any kind of extra modules. So I was able to just program it. And like I said, I'll put in the description below how to program it properly. HomeLink is very simple. HomeLink works, you push the 2 outer buttons, there's 3 buttons, you push the 2 outer buttons, hold them in for about 10 seconds, the little light starts flashing, and that erases all the memory, and then you just pick and choose 1, 2, 3, and you program your garage door openers. New ones are super easy. You just hit the learn button, have the accessory on, push your HomeLink, whichever one you want, and boom, it takes off. Older models, you needed the clicker first. So you needed the clicker. It would program, start blinking. Hey, the the clicker is programmed. Then you would go and push the learn button, and then it would take off. So, but the Car2U, I'll put a link in the description below. Works a little bit different. But it works, and the key here is you can put either a HomeLink or a Car2U sun visor into your base Corvette, and it's a plug-and-play operation. Moving on. Head units. So I used to install head units. Years ago, we used to do a lot of different accessories on all different vehicles. Years ago, now we're in 2020, the head units, even the cheaper ones, and when I say cheaper, don't buy anything that's Sony or Pyle or not Bose, but Boss or whatever. Don't buy it. Don't even waste your money or that Taiwanese, Chinese junk. China makes a lot of stuff. Taiwan makes a lot of stuff for us. Japan have actual quality brands, but don't buy junk that somebody basically makes in their basement over there overseas in either Europe or Asia. Just don't waste your money. Even though you can only get it for like $150 and it says it works with everything. It doesn't. It's been tested. It's proven. So I always see the same thing, and it's I have a blah 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 Corvette C6 and I want to run my iPhone, or I want to have Bluetooth. And guys will just argue till their nose bleeds. Well, I'll just add a auxiliary jack, add a USB connection, add a plug-in USB cigarette lighter, Bluetooth adapter. All those things will work, but like me and probably most of you guys, we all have smartphones. We have either Droids or Apples. We use apps and we use different applications, right, on our phones to help us with navigation, with searches, videos, or whatever, like Waze, for example. None of that stuff will work. And on top of it, even when you had a 3LT Corvette with that nice touchscreen navigation, it was already outdated. Even when it came out, it literally looked like something out of a late 90s, early 2000s Beamers or, Jags or whatever, right? Bentleys. It was cheap. It was crap. But some people just stick by it and they will modify it, and then they complain how half their options on their phone don't work. So this is what I'm going to tell you. 1LT came with an old school GM head unit, right? no nav, no touchscreen, knobs and buttons, and no volume controls on the steering wheel. Then you had your option where you did have your volume control on the steering wheel, and it still came with the knobby head unit. And then you had the 3LT, which had everything, right? So it had the Bose, and it had the nav and all that stuff. Long story short is, we're in 2020, and the best thing you can do if you want to upgrade your head unit, if you want to make your vehicle sound better, if you want to take of all these advantages that your phone can bring into your vehicle, do yourself a favor and upgrade to either a Pioneer, Alpine, or a Kenwood. I have a video that I did on my C6. I put a Pioneer head unit in. Altogether, I was under $400. Meaning, I did the labor myself. $400. I bought brand new, not refurbished. $400 with the kit, the installation kit, with everything that you need, including the bypass for the brake. And I'm not going to get into that right now. You can watch the videos. There's a series of videos, and I explain everything about it. And 2 cameras, rear and front, for under $400. The best $400 you're going to spend as far as a modification for any vehicle. It doesn't matter if it's a C6 or if your vehicle is from that era or a generation where it didn't have your Bluetooth, your USB, your Waze apps built into the head unit. It's like jumping into a 2020 Corvette. Your Apple CarPlay, right? All that stuff, or a Droid, everything is there. And I bought a head unit that is cheaper. It's a 1500 NEX Pioneer, but it has all the applications. The only thing it doesn't have is nav. Well, why would you need nav when you can plug your phone in? You can either open Maps or you can open Waze, and you get everything right there on your screen, or you can switch over and actually use your Apple CarPlay, and it puts your Apple screen right on your phone, or right on the head unit, or vice versa on your Droid. So I really don't know why people argue and they want to keep these old stock head units in there, and they just, till this day, I don't know if it's the labor, I don't know if it's the time, I don't know if it's the money. Get that junk out, put that junk somewhere in the basement or in your garage. If you ever sell it, you can say, hey, this is the original head unit this Corvette came with, and you can sell it, or you can take the other one, whatever. Things are getting cheaper and cheaper every year, and main thing is get quality stuff. That touchscreen head unit is complete junk. The regular head unit that C6 Corvette comes in a base is junk. There's no capabilities. Later on in the years, I'm talking about like Grand Sports and Z6s, they came with an auxiliary jack in them. I mean, are you kidding me? What are you going to do with that? And then here's the thing. So somebody that's been installing car audio for many, many, many years, when you start adding on all those add-on boxes, because we used to do it. So I'll give you prime examples. Back in the day, like if you had a Jag or you have a Mercedes, we weren't as advanced. Until this day, it's pretty much impossible if you take a new one to upgrade the head unit. And why would you? I mean, the tech on a Jag or a Mercedes or a Beamer from 2010 is far more advanced than a GM product from even today. Just being honest. But anytime somebody came to me and said, hey, listen, I would like to add a USB function, or I would like to play my music through either USB or a auxiliary jack, the 3.5 millimeter jack. Normally what you do is you have to tap into your power. Some units use a AM, FM frequency, and then they work through RCA wires. So right there, I just explained to you, and I think a basic person will realize that you just lost your quality of sound because you're using a frequency, you're tapping into wires, and the main thing is it's not going to do what it's meant to do, and it's to make your car modern. That's just, back in the 2000s, early 2000s, that was making it modern. But now with all the capabilities that are out there, you're not making it modern. You're just making it more complicated, because things will break, things won't sound good, and you won't have a full control of what your phone and your vehicle together can bring you as an operator. And that's GPS, YouTube, everything else. And the biggest thing about it too is people need to understand that this has been happening for many, many years. Most cars especially new ones, they come pre-wired with everything. And Corvettes, it might not have an amplifier for like your Bose system, or it might not have a GPS receiver or XM receiver. So those components are not there, but the cables and wires and harnesses are. But the biggest thing is just, I don't understand why till this day people argue and want to keep their old head units in their cars where there is zero modification, everything is plug and play, and you completely get night and day, not only enjoyment out of the upgrade that you did, but the just the sheer simplicity of how everything works, syncs, and how you use your phone inside your car and how your car responds to your phone. So we'll just close that subject, hopefully forever. If you guys have questions for me, like I said, I would love to answer them in detail. But let's just stop going through the whole head unit. Let's upgrade. Let's put a couple of zip ties and wires together. Upgrade to something that's new, a doubled in touchscreen head unit or whatever else. But main thing is stick to the big three: Kenwood, Pioneer, Alpine. And if you stick to the three, it will be well worth it. Okay, so moving on. So we've been really focusing today on the three big upgrades. Rear view mirror. I'm kind of a, real anal guy when it comes to, I want things a certain way. Like, give you an example. Like I already told you, I have a 1LT. I upgraded my head unit. I upgraded my sun visors. I don't have a heads-up display, and I'm not going to install one just because I've been in cars. I've been in Corvettes with heads-up display, and to me, it's just it's just not something that I find beneficial. I'm kind of old school in a way, so I'm not even going to touch that. But one of the things is the rear view mirrors. Once again, we're going to go through the progression. If you have a 1LT base, your mirror has the following. On the bottom, it has your little light for your passenger airbag, either being on or off. Then it has two little courtesy lights, and it has a manual twist knob for daytime, nighttime settings. For a short period of time, between 05 and 08, 07, GM did offer a mirror that had auto dim and a compass in it. So auto dim is what I like. Compass, I don't care. I have GPS and phone GPS, and if I really want to be serious, I know exactly where I'm going. I know if I'm going east, west, north, south. Okay, but it's a nice feature to have. I'm just saying, but that's not what I'm looking for. Auto dim. From 08 on, the vehicles came with OnStar capabilities, and the OnStar was built in a Corvette. It was built into the mirror. So you still had your auto dim, your compass, and then your OnStar capability. So let's put this to bed. In my Corvette, I was able to get that rare mirror that has your auto dim and compass only. I don't have OnStar. Okay, that vehicle never came, doesn't even have OnStar modules in it. But here's what I want to make clear. that little plug that you got, same thing. It carries power to your basics. And your basics are your compass and your auto dim. The OnStar won't work. This goes through the entire brand and through the entire trim levels of your Corvettes. Your OnStar is not even worth, if you don't have OnStar in your vehicle, it's not even worth going through the trouble of getting OnStar modules put in. And it's just I don't see the benefit. Like I said, call 911, get your phone, get your head unit upgraded. But you can benefit from a auto dim, which I think is the greatest thing created, and maybe a compass. So if you're looking for an auto dim or a compass function, you can buy yourself a mirror from 05 to about 08 that just has the 2 buttons. It's like an old school GM button, so you got a compass and a dim button. Or you can upgrade to a newer one, which that's what you really see on the used market is your compass, auto dim, and OnStar. And the only thing that won't work with your original plug do you currently have is OnStar. And that's it. So 3 things. Sun visors. If you have a broken sun visor, just replace it with a used working one and stop BSing and spending your money and wasting your time. If you don't see one on eBay or Amazon or wherever else you shop, wait until you come across a one for a good price and good condition. If you're upgrading a whole set, do the same thing. If you want to upgrade to HomeLink, now you guys know that, hey, you can actually go from a base without HomeLink to HomeLink, either card to you or HomeLink actual model with no added wiring or modifications. Head units, I tell everybody, I think people just think that I make money from somehow. I don't want to install your head unit unless you ask me to, but upgrade. These Corvettes have late 90s, early 2000s capabilities in 2013 Corvettes. Look at your C7s. C7s have what I have in my vehicle, but I have more because a lot of my stuff is unlocked. I'm not going to get into that detail, but I have more capability than the C7s. Well, C8s is going to be very close to C7s. You know, that whole, yeah, you'll see that Apple CarPlay and all that stuff, but you'd be stupid not to upgrade if you're not happy with what you got. If you're happy with your stock OEM head unit, God bless you and keep it. But if you want to upgrade, don't buy all these eBay, Amazon, harness flingies, do flingies so you can call people over your phone, or if your microphone went out on your Bluetooth setup from a stock head unit, just upgrade. The third one is the rear view mirror. If you're okay with doing the flip, leave it. If you're like me and you want the auto dim function, guess what? It's there and it's going to work, and you don't have to run any more wires or modify anything once again. And at the end of the day, OnStar won't work. But if your vehicle came with OnStar, it will work. But if it didn't, it won't work. Key right there. So I'm glad I got those 3 things off my chest, because people always talk about them and they just beat them to death. And it's fine. Everybody has a their own way of looking at life, looking at certain things, how they work. But that's my opinion. That's what I think about sun visors, head units, and rear view mirrors. And I believe all 3 things can easily upgrade and modernize your C6 Corvette. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Next video will be outside in the garage, in a cold garage, showing you what else I'm doing to the C6.